Matt, what's your reaction to Ronald Nored taking this job and being the man picked for the job?
Yeah, I mean it's pretty exciting. I'm excited for Ron and obviously university. I think he has an incredible love for the university itself, and I think he's going to put everything he's got into it. So excited to see how he builds out his staff, and obviously we got the portal opening up in a in a week or two, and so a lot of stuff that's got to move quick.
Well, you were a part of those teams with Ronald that took Butler to a new level in basketball and really changed the trajectory of Butler basketball to where it's now a Big East team and all those things. Um, how do you kind of look at the landscape of college basketball right now and where Butler can fit in and be successful?
Yeah, I know it's it's been a tough couple of years, and there is conversation. I've heard people talk about should we be in the Big East, and I think the way things are moving, you don't necessarily want to be dropped down a level, or as people would see it, because you might get left behind, and so I think the goal has to be, how do we figure it out, or saying we, how does Butler figure it out? And so I think this is hopefully the next step in that direction.
Tell me about Ronald. Obviously, he was a point guard, and that's typically a natural leader anyway. But the qualities that he displayed, not just as his skills in basketball, but as that leader and someone that maybe who would become a head coach. What did you see back then?
Yeah, I think he always wanted to be a leader of people. I mean, part of the reason he went there is to learn how to be a leader as a point guard, and then also to learn how to coach. And obviously, Butler's produced a lot of great coaches, and he wanted to learn from Coach Stevens and that staff. And we sort of laugh about it. I mean, he was one of the class presidents while he was there. I didn't have time for that. I don't know how he did, but he just needed to be around people. He wanted to lead people, and you can see that it's a natural thing for him.
People might be concerned that he's never been a college head coach. I think he only has 1 year, even as a college assistant. And the kind of college basketball environment that we have now. Do you share those concerns?
I mean, I think you'd be crazy not to be somewhat concerned about it. But that's where I think it's really important who he surrounds himself with and his staff, and who do you lean on and trust in those roles. And I'm sure that's the conversations he's having right now, and maybe with Grant and whoever he's talking to. And so, yeah, it's fair to have those concerns. I mean, it is a different game. It's a whole different world than the last time he was involved in it with NIL and the portal and all those things. But I surely would hope, and I think he'll get a good staff around him.
Did you feel it was important that this job stayed in the Butler family as it has for really going back to before Barry Collier?
Yeah, I mean, you can find really good I mean, there's obviously really good coaches out there. I think that's stuff that we've in a perfect world, you want it to be a Butler person, of course. You want it to be somebody and really loves the place. But I don't think that is completely crucial. Obviously, it sounds like and appears that that was pretty important to Grant and whoever's making the hiring decision. So I don't know. It's a really good question. It's stuff that I know it's been debated, and I've even questioned that myself. But I can tell you 100% with certainty that this guy loves Butler, and he's going to do whatever he can to make it successful.
I'm sure you've watched Ronald's career since he left college. Um, how much have you stayed in touch with Ronald at all, or is it just sort of those get-togethers at Hinkle Fieldhouse when the team gets back together? I don't know how much have you had any contact with him?
Yeah, a little bit. Obviously, I saw him and talked to him a lot more when he was here in town. So I thought it was going to be a lot longer, uh, before I got him back in Indiana. Not me, but we got him back in Indiana. And so, yeah, I mean, we used to live like 15 minutes apart when he was coaching for the Pacers. So it's nice to have him back around. But yeah, it's still keep in touch with him every once in a while and, just see how he's doing, see how the family's doing. It'll be nice to have him back around.
You've kind of touched on this already, Matt, but let me ask you a little bit different way. What is Ronald's personality?
His personality, well, it's exactly what you see. You know, I used to, when he was here, I'd like to go to a game or two and just watch him on the sideline because he's not going to sit in the seat, right? He's not the head coach, but he's not going to sit in the seat, because he wants to be involved and he wants to lead. Like I said, I think that's one of his greatest qualities and strengths, and it certainly was as a teammate and a leader for our teams. And you can just see that. I mean, he's got an infectious personality. People that are around him, it's hard not to love him and want to be around him. And I think that there's a value to that, and certainly our people are going to see that again involved with the Butler program.
You've got to be feeling nostalgic these days, I would think, with the Final Four coming to Indianapolis, and you got to play in the Final Four in Indianapolis, and now here your teammates becoming the Butler coach. And I know you got to have some nostalgic feelings about this time of year, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to feel some of that. I do have some beef with the Westfield School Department scheduling spring break over Final Four weekend. So I'm actually going to be out of town for that, and we'll miss it. But it's such an awesome time of the year. Indy hosts an incredible event. I mean, we got to do two, and I mean, Indy was so much better in a lot of ways. Not because how the games went, but just being able to get around and hosting that event. They do it really, really well. But yeah, as far as just memories, it's hard not to think back to some of those things. And obviously now with Ron being here, and we're going to have a lot of teammates. I've got a lot of former teammates that are in college basketball that would be back in town for this weekend. So, or not this weekend, but the next weekend. It's going to be a good time. I'm unfortunately going to miss a lot of it.
Well, Matt, just to wrap up, anything else that you would want people to know about Ron, or a story that sticks out from your college days, or a game that you remember where he just kind of demonstrated who he was?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of memories of Ron. Some that sort of show who his character and who he was as a teammate it was my senior year, so his junior year. He started all the way up until a game where he got hurt. I had to sit out a game. So, coach takes him out of the starting lineup, and we had struggled up until that point. And he came off the bench the next game, and we sort of stuck with that and won a lot of games. And he never complained at all. He was incredibly good through that whole stretch, even though he sacrificed a little bit, gave up a little bit of what he was doing to make us better. And not one word. I never heard one thing from him. He just wanted to win. And, I think you'll see that from him in this role as well. He wants to do whatever it takes. And he was a huge part of what made us successful on the defensive end. But stuff like that allows your team to take the step to the next level. As far as sacrificing the way he did his junior year there. So that's something that I remember him by and have a lot of respect for him.